Hi, today I am going to discuss about the topic key management. In this section, we have discussing about the key management and there's two sections: the distribution of public keys and use of public key encryption to distribute secret keys. This is the last topic of the module 5. In case of public key encryption or asymmetric key crypto system, address the key distribution problems. Key distribution problems means in case of private key encryption or symmetric key crypto system has many key generation problems because it has only one key. There's a no public and the private key. There have only one secret key. Therefore, key management problem for authority it has very serious issue. So, in case of key management, in case of public key encryption, that address the key management problems with the two effects. The first one is the distribution of public keys and use of public key encryption with the secret keys. What is key management? Key management is the set of techniques and procedures supporting the establishment and maintenance of the key relationship between the authorized parties. What mean by authorized parties? Authorized parties means the sender and receiver. They are authorized. That means that there is a key relationship between the sender and receiver. Therefore, that gives a set of techniques and procedures supporting the establishment and the maintenance of the key relationship between the authorized parties. Here, key relationship includes the exchanging of message or the content of information that can be sent by the sender and receiver. That in case of in our module we are dealing with the Alice and Bob. Alice is the sender and Bob is the receiver. Therefore, the piece of information and the public and private keys that includes the key relationship between the authorized parties. The key relationship is the state wherein communicating entities share common data to facilitate cryptography techniques. This data may include public or secret keys, initialization values, and additional non-secret parameters. Public key distribution. Public key distribution means in case of first section, distribution of public keys, that is the public key distribution. In asymmetric cryptography or public key cryptography, people do not need to know a symmetric shared key. They do not know about the symmetric shared key. There are mainly two keys. One is private and another is the public. Public is known to everyone. Private is only known about the receiver. Alice wants to send a message to Bob. Bob is the receiver, Alice is the sender. She only needs to know Bob's public key, which is open to the public and available to everyone. We have already said about this public key cryptography in previous sections. If Bob needs to send a message to Alice, he only needs to know Alice's public key, which is also known to everyone. That these two topics are covered in our sections. Alice wants to send a message to Bob. She only wants to use the Bob's public key. The public key and the private key are in the receiver side. Bob's public key is public to everyone, and the private key is confidential or shielded to receiver only. In public key cryptography, everyone shields a private key and advertises a public key. In public key cryptography, everyone has access to everyone's public key. Public keys are available to public. Hence, the distribution of public keys can be mainly grouped into four sections: public announcement, public available directory, public key authority, and public key certificates. First one is public announcement. In public announcement, we publicly announce our public key. That is, we have already said that in public key cryptography, the public key can access everyone and public keys are available to public, but it has some disadvantages. So we just move to public available directory. In case of second available directory, it is same as that of our telephone directory. We have a sender. Sender have the all private keys and all public keys are in sender side that I have detailed in our next section. In public key authority means we are giving a certified authorities to give public and private keys in between the sender and receiver. And the last one is the public key certificate. That means in our case of certificates, we give a universal format for that certificates. Otherwise, it has some different, if sender and receiver sending certificates with a different format, so we are giving a certified a universal format that is X.509 like that. So this is our 4 sections. In case of first, we have discuss about the public announcement. Public announcement of public keys. Just in receiver side, in case of our this section, Bob is the receiver. Receiver have the public keys and private key. Public keys available to public and say private keys equal to receiver. So public key is publicly announced to everyone. Any participant can send his or her public key to any other participant or broadcast the key to the community at large. That means any participant can send his public key to everyone because public key is public to everyone, so broadcast to the community. It is a major weakness is that anyone can form such a public announcement, which means that that is the attacker side. The attacker can also act as a sender and they can act as a sender and announce it's a public key. So the receiver thinks that it is a Alice or the sender and collect the public key from attacker. So attacker can get the private key of the receiver. That is the main disadvantages of this public announcement. So that is some user could pretend to be user A and send a public key to another participant or broadcast such a public key. The attacker or forwarder is able to read all encrypted message intended for A and can use the forwarded keys for authentication. Here indicates the attacker attacks the public announcement. The public announcement, the attacker acts as a sender and they announce the public keys, and the receiver just think that it is the Alice or sender and collect all the collect the public keys, and the attacker forward can able to read all the messages intended for A and the forward keys for authentication. And they have a forward keys that if Alice has a private and public key, like that, the attacker has a public and private key. That is a forward public keys. That is not a true. That's a false one, and to give for the receiver for authentication. That's why we are moved to the next section is that a public available directory. Because of the demerits of this first section, we just analyze the next section is with the public available directory. In public available directory, we have a trusted sender. A more secure approach is to have a trusted sender retain a directory of public keys. Here we have a directory of public keys. The directory, like the one we can use in telephone system, is dynamically updated. If anyone can join this directory, the for the telephone system, just update like that. We have to update our directory with the public keys. Each user can select a private and public key, keep the private key and deliver the public key for insertion into the directory. Each user can select a private and public key, keep the private key and deliver the public key for insertion into the directory. The sender requires that each user register in the sender and prove his or her identity. The sender first he needs to, the sender requires that each user register in the sender and prove that he or his her or his identity with any ID proof like that. The directory can be publicly advertised by the trusted sender. The directory can be publicly advertised by the trusted sender, and this is the figure. This is the directory. In directory, we have all the users IDs with its public and private keys. This is the trusted sender, and the directory is in the trusted sender, and the public key is announced by the trusted sender. And in one more modification in trusted sender is that the controlled trusted sender. In case of controlled trusted sender, a higher layer of security can be achieved by if there are added some controls on the distribution of public keys to attain more security. The public key announcement included timestamp and be signed by an authority to prevent interception and modification of the response. If the public key can be announced, so in case of public announcement, we are just announcing the public keys, but the attacker can be modify or intercept the keys, public keys. So the in case of trusted sender giving a timestamp. Timestamp means the signer's assertion that a piece of electronic data excited or before particular time. That it came with a message with a particular time and signed by the sender or receiver. Depends upon the public and private keys. That's not timestamp with the message with the time. And the signature of the sender or receiver. That's known as the timestamp. That is the modification of the trusted sender with the controlled trusted. We are just giving a timestamp. Controlled trusted sender. This is the figure. And in case of this, if Alice needs to know Bob's public key, if Alice needs to know Bob's public key, she can send a request to the sender, including Bob's name and timestamp. If the sender needs to know the receiver's public key, she first send a request to sender, not for receiver. First, he has to send the sender, including Bob's name and timestamp. If the sender have a directory, the sender checks the directory with the Bob's name and timestamp. The sender responds with the Bob's public key. The original request and the timestamp is signed with the private key of the sender. The sender can be checked with the Bob's name and timestamp. If it is in the sender is signed with its private key. Then Alice uses the public key of the sender, known by all, to verify the timestamp. If the timestamp is verified, she extracts the Bob's public key. The sender, in sender we have the Bob's public key. So by using the sender's private key, sender send the public key to the Alice. By Alice with its sender's public key verify the timestamp. If the timestamp is verified, she extracts the Bob's public key. That's the main procedure. That can be explained in this figure. This is Alice. Alice needs to know Bob's public key, so she sent a message to the sender. That is the trusted sender. In trusted sender, have public key of the Bob's public key, but the trusted sender giving a timestamp with the signed with the private key of the trusted sender, and then this timestamp is verified by Alice with the public key of the trusted sender. Then when the timestamp is verified, it is then she gets the public key of the Bob. That's the main process of the control the trusted sender. And the next section is the public key authority. In certification authority, the public available directory can create a heavy load on the sender if the number of requests is large. Here we create a public key certificate. Bob can go to a certification authority that binds a public key to an entity and issues a certificate. The other issues regarding the controlled trusted sender is that if the request is large or heavy, therefore a very high load to the public available directory, hence we choose public key authority. Bob can go to certification authority. Here we have a certification authority, that is CA, that binds a public key to an entity, and issues a certificate. The certification authority has a well-known public key itself that cannot be forwarded or attacked. The certification authority checks Bob's identification. It then asks Bob's public key and writes it on the certificate. First one, the certification authority checks Bob's identification. By using Bob's ID proof like that, and it then asks Bob's public key and writes it on the certificate. To prevent the certificate itself from being forwarded, the CA signed the certificate with its private key. Same as that of the trusted sender signed with its private key, like that the CA certification authority signed with the certificate is signed with the private. Here we have some certificates, like certified authority gives some certificate with its private key. Now Bob can upload the signed certificate. Anyone who wants Bob's public key downloads the signed certificate and use the sender's public key to extract the Bob's public key. Same as that of the trusted controlled trusted sender. Here we have a certified authority that gives the certificates. In case of case of controlled trusted sender, we are using the trusted sender. Here we are using a certified authority with the certificates. Next one, this is the figure. Certification authority. Here we have a trust certification authority in case of trusted center. Same procedures case in case of that of trusted center. Next one, public key certificate. The one side effects of the public key authority is that each certificates may have different format. One certificate may have the public key in one format and the other in different format. The public key may be on the first line in one certificate and the second line in the other. Hence, we need a universal format. So, in case of public key certificates, we need a universal format because all certificates are in different formats. So, need a universal format. That is to remove the side effect. The ITU has designed the X.509. It's a way to display the certificate in a structured way. It uses a well-known protocol called ASN1, that is Abstract Syntax Notation 1. The protocol is X.509 and the certificate is the certificate format is that here we have version number, serial number, signature algorithm, issue number, validity period, subject name, subject public key, issue unique identifier, subject unique identifier, extension, signature. First one, version number. Version number means it is started from with a 0. From initial stage to start with a 0. Currently the version is a third version with the number 2. Third version means a 0, 1, 2 and third version number is 2. And serial number, this field defines a number. All certificates some numbers assigned. For an if a certification authority certified a certificate for an entity, that entity have a number and another entity has another number, like that. This field defines a number assigned to each certificate. And next one is the signature algorithm ID. This field identifies the algorithm used to sign the certificate. What algorithm are used to identify the signed certificate? Issuer name, the field identifies this field and issuer name identifies the certification authority, which certification authority can be issued this certificate. And validity period means the earliest time and latest time where the certificate is valid. Subject name defines the entity to which the public key belongs. Which entity the public key belongs. It depends upon the encryption definition which entity field or the subject belongs to means the public key belongs, and subject public key. It defines the owner's public key, the heart of the certificate. Here is the main section, subject of the public key. It defines the owner's public key. The issuer unique identifier. It allows two issuers to have the same issuer field value if the issuer unique identifier are different. If the issuer field value is the same, then issuer unique identifier is different. Depending on that, we have can identify which certificate is that. Subject unique identifier. The field allows two different subjects to have the same subject field value if the subject unique identifiers are different. If the same subject field value, then subject unique identifier is different. Extension. Then we can differentiate the certificates. Extension. It allows the users to add more private information to the certificates. Extension. More information for the certificate. Next one, signature. This field is made up of 3 sections. First section contains all other fields in the certificates. First section contains all other fields in the certificate. Second section contains the digest of the first section encrypted with the certification authorities with the public key. The third section contains the algorithm identifier used to create the second section. This is just explanation of the format of the certificate. So we have just the figure, the format of the section. Just explain the each section with them what it indicates. That's about public key certificates. And next one is the we have key management. We have 2 aspects. The first aspect is the distribution of public keys. Second is the use of public key encryption to distribute secret keys. Secret keys, in case of distribution of public keys, are mainly 4 types of public announcement, public key, public available directory, and the third one is public authority, and last one public key certificates. In case of public key encryption to distribute secret keys are mainly 2 types, simple secret key distribution and secret key distribution with the confidentiality and authentication. Simple secret key distribution is that we have a sender and receiver. In sender A, Alice and Bob, A just to send the uh, Alice needs to know public key of the Bob. So she sent message to the Bob with the public key and identification of the A. Identification for authentication. Any ID proof like that. And Bob sent the public key of the Alice with the K. K means a secret key for encryption. This is a very simple secret key distribution. In secret key distribution with the confidentiality and authentication. It is same as that of the public key authority. This is same as that of the distribution of public keys. Third one, public key authority. In authority we have said the procedures. The procedures is same as that of in case of the second section, but the difference is that in public key authority we have a certifying authority, we have CA, but in case of this we have no any third party, we have only sender and receiver. But here we have no authority. Here we have sender and receiver. The Alice sent a message to Bob with the public key of the Bob and a note. N1 means note, the what type of information it carries, and the ID means the identification. Therefore, authentication. Here we have the heading is that secret key distribution, the confidentiality and authentication. Hence, it is same as that of the public key authority, but here we have another thing. Hence, we have authenticated. A is authenticated, and Bob replaced to with the public key of the Alice with the Bob's information with the N1 N2. N1 is the information of the Alice with the second information N2. That is the we have denoted with the serial number 2. Then Alice encrypted with the second note can be encrypted with the public key of the Bob and encryption is by using private key with the private key of the Alice with the secret key of the secret key means the private key of the Bob. Hence the message is encrypted. Message can be encrypted with the Bob's public key and public key of private key of the Alice, and K means a secret key. Secret key means a private key of the Bob. Hence the message is encrypted. This is the basic procedures in key management process. Thank you.